Hey everybody, welcome to the SMA Journey 51 vlog. Alright guys, in this week's video, I put together some information regarding the importance of finding a good pulmonologist in your area and also staying vigilant and having them perform annual pulmonary function tests on you. These PFTs help you to measure not only the amount of air that you can bring into your lungs, it also explains the amount of force that you can use to expel this air from your lungs, which will help you to get rid of some of the mucus and some of the phlegm that could be building up in the lower lobes of your lungs. I put together a video where I explain this process, and afterwards I'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Thank you. In June 2018, I attended the Cure SMA annual conference, which was held in my hometown of Dallas, Texas. During this 4-day conference, those that attended had the ability to go to different seminars, and one of the seminars that I went to dealt with breathing difficulties and how important pulmonary function tests were to those of us who have spinal muscular atrophy. During this hour-and-a-half-long lecture, pulmonologists and nurses explained why those of us with SMA had poor lung functions and what we could do to improve our lung strength. Let's face it, if you have SMA, you know how difficult it is to cough hard enough to clear your lungs. They showed different apparatuses that are available to those of us with SMA that can help us not only build better lung capacity, but also to improve our overall lung strength. One of the items that they demonstrated in this class was a cough assist. This machine can not only force air into our lungs, which would help us open the bronchial tubes in the lower lobes of our lungs, it could also help us expel the air from our lungs with the force of someone who was able-bodied. One of the problems that we face with having SMA is the buildup of phlegm and mucus in the lower lobes of our lungs, and without the ability to expel this phlegm and mucus, it would sit in the lower lobes of our lungs and create a possible breeding ground for bacteria and other illnesses. They demonstrated how this phlegm and mucus is moved up toward the upper part of our lungs when we cough, and eventually expelled from the lungs altogether, and after this demonstration, this proved to me why these cough assist machines are so valuable. The next demonstration that they went through was the importance of having annual pulmonary function tests. These PFTs measure the amount of lung capacity that we have, along with the amount of force that we have to expel the air from our lungs, along with the amount of force that we have to do this. During this lecture, I took notes and intended on checking on not only the cough assist machine, but also locating a pulmonologist in my area that I could go to. Like everyone else, I got busy and completely forgot to do this, and this was a mistake that nearly cost me my life. In late 2018, I started running a fever and having chills. When my caregivers called 911, and after paramedics examined me, they determined that it would be best to transfer me to the hospital because my temperature was nearly 101 degrees. By the time I got to the hospital, my temperature had spiked to nearly 103 degrees. After doctors examined me and ran a chest x-ray, they determined that I had a severe case of pneumonia, and they immediately transferred me straight to the intensive care unit. After 5 days in the hospital and numerous breathing treatments, I recovered and was discharged. It was only then that I remembered that I had forgotten to call a pulmonologist, and as soon as I was released from the hospital, that was the first thing on my agenda. Since then, I've seen my pulmonologist 3 times, once in 2018, once in 2019, and again during the latter part of 2020. In the image that you're viewing on your screen, you see my pulmonary function tests that I've had during the past 3 years. In October 2018, I went to see my pulmonologist for the initial meeting and baseline test. Before I begin explaining my results, let me give you a couple of definitions that will help you during my explanation. You see a section in the chart labeled FVC and FEV1. What are these, and what do they mean? What is FVC? The forced vital capacity measurement shows the amount of air a person can forcefully and quickly exhale after taking a deep breath. Determining your FVC helps your doctor diagnose a chronic lung disease, monitor the disease over time, and understand the severity of the condition. In general, doctors compare your FVC measurement with the predicted FVC based on your age, height, and weight. What is FEV1? Forced expiratory volume is measured during the forced vital capacity test. The forced expiratory volume in 1 second measurement show the amount of air a person can forcefully exhale in 1 second of the FPC test. In addition, doctors can measure forced expiratory volume during the second and third seconds of the FPC test. Determining your FEV1 measurement helps your doctor understand the severity of disease. Typically, lower FEV1 scores show more severe stages of lung disease. All of the information that I just read to you regarding the FVC and FEV1 were taken verbatim from the following website. A link to this entire document is in the description of my video. Okay, now that you know what both of these are, let me explain my results. In late 2018, during my initial meeting with my pulmonologist, they determined that I was only using about 26% of my lung capacity with regards to force. Since this was my first test, it was considered a baseline test, and this baseline test would then be used in my upcoming pulmonary function test to measure the amount of increase or decrease. My pulmonologist prescribed a cough assist machine, and he and his pulmonary nurse showed me how to use it and instructed me to use this machine at least 3 or 4 times each week. This cough assist would force air into my lungs, which gave me the ability to expand all of the lower lobes of the lungs, which in turn helped me to loosen the phlegm and to also bring it up to where I could get rid of it. I did this 3 or 4 times each week until my next pulmonology exam in 2019. In 2019, when my pulmonologist ran this same exam, my FVC improved from 26% to 31%, and my FEV1 improved from 28% to 37%. My pulmonologist was extremely pleased with these results, and he said that my Spinraza treatments were probably part of the reason for this improvement. But he also said that my physical therapy schedule that I had been on also played a key part in my improved lung strength. He said that all of my core strengthening exercises were helping me to improve my overall lung function, which in turn helped me with my overall lung strength. In 2020, when I went back for the same exam, my FVC score improved from 31% to 53%, and my FEV1 score improved from 37% to 57%. When my doctor called to give me my scores, he was again completely blown away with the amount of improvement that I had seen. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got some information out of it that you can use as well. Please take the time out of your day to find a good pulmonologist that lives in your area, if you haven't already done so. And also, make sure that you stay vigilant in having these PFTs run on a yearly basis. I've seen some incredible results since I started my PFTs, and I hope you will as well. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, when you subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of any new videos that I produce. I hope all of you have had a fantastic week. Do me a favor this upcoming week. Do something for yourself that's going to make you a better person. God bless you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.